Good afternoon, morning, evening, whatever it is for you. I am Brent, a author, amateur world builder, writing educator. You can find me as werewolf_dr on Threads, Instagram, Patreon, Ko-Fi, and YouTube, as well as here, and werewolf-dr over on Bluesky. I'm not really using Threads and Instagram much anymore, but they're still there. I have a few little things I need to get done for work, but I wanted to make sure stream started on time. So I'm gonna quietly take care of a few work things, and then I'll go ahead and talk about some stuff. In the meantime, you can watch me or throw things in chat, and I will keep an eye on stuff as far as that goes. I'm also gonna throw in there all my links. There we go. There are all my links. So those are all present and accounted for. Yay. Awesome. Okay. So we got a little wrap up stuff for work things, make sure some grading things get done, and make sure that they get put in place so that everybody can work with other things. All right. So attach local files. Make sure you get the right name. Yep. Oh, those are all the same. Okay. Cool. Let's see. Next is there. That is going to be that. Throw in that. And attach that. Okay, close enough. Good enough. Okay, cool beans. There. This. That. So this is going to be a little boring for a few minutes because this is the dull side of dealing with the dull side of education. Okay, there is that, and that. Cool. And last but not least in there, let's see, there we go. Cool. Submit that. Oh, I gotta do that one a weird way. Yes. Okay, cool. We'll take care of that. Okay, give me that in a new tab. See what we can do with this one. There he is. Grade details. No, that's not what I wanted. Back that up. And also remembering how certain things in the software work. Okay. Quick comment. Will you let me? Ha, good, okay. Where is my... Good. Cool. Yes, okay, looking good. All right. Whoops. Hello there. I am sorry, it's a little quiet at the moment. I'm kind of wrapping up some a little bit of some bookkeeping for work, and then I'm going to turn over into actually talking about some stuff and more interesting and exciting stuff. But I realized that today's a little bit compressed, and my students would be very happy, or not so happy as the case may be, to figure out their recent paper grades sooner rather than later, and would probably prefer them now rather than closer to midnight. So very quickly getting those posted and taken care of. Yes, okay, cool. But that should only take me a few more, maybe about 5 more minutes, hopefully, with luck. So they're going relatively quickly. There. And throw in him. It's something that could probably wait till later, but it makes them a little happier. It also means that I am free from grading for a while, so that makes me happier. Oh, cool. Yes. Okay, cool. And there. And where is he? There we go. Okay. Excellent. Double check, make sure everything went through. Yes, indeed it did. Awesome. Okay, that's one group down. Yeah, fine, save it. Other group, which is a little more straightforward. Marginally more straightforward. Okay, because this thing gets screwed up, let's do that way, let's do this way, because our system is a mess. Okay. Nice. What software are you looking at, or what kind of things are you working with building? As far as, is this like like mapping software, or is this like something more like what's the word I'm thinking of, like World Anvil, where it's kind of got a little more of a sort of, I'm looking for wiki type vibe to it? Okay. So is that one more of a, I'm not familiar with that one. Is that more of a, I can take a look for it here in a moment. Okay, so it's like a note-taking, folders, files. Nice. So it has kind of almost, okay, some templates and more text-based, all that sort of thing. Nice. Good organization. That's always helpful. I tend to be kind of very bare bones myself with most of my software for things is almost exclusively like Word and maybe Paint, and that's about it. We got some more people coming in here. Hello, everybody. All those who came in, I will be with things in a few moments. I just want to make sure things got started on time, but I do have some quick paid work things to get taken care of, because I realized that my classes would probably like to have their grades sooner rather than later. So kind of getting all these things posted real quick. And once I am set with that, which I think there are only about 11 more to go, that will be out of the way, and I will get into chatting about some stuff. What exactly is unclear. Probably stuff with my most recent or my current projects. Oh, make sure that number is right. That's better, and those names match up. Awesome. So just making sure that once I get this done, which shouldn't take too much longer. This is unfortunately the kind of boring, one of the boring sides of the education field. Entering everything, entering grades and things into the system. It is not particularly flashy or fun to see, but it is unfortunately a necessary part of what we do. Yep. Okay. Cool. Make that basically data entry. Yay. There we go. Cool, cool, cool. Make sure I don't see any names because I don't want FERPA issues. Because FERPA. Yes. Name. Okay, cool. Basically a lot of entering numbers and making sure that names match up. That number. And that text. And that file. That matches that name. Yes, yes. Awesome. Cool beans. There. Only about 5 more to go. Whoops. No. Give me that file. Okay, those match up. Awesome. And there. And where is the file? Where is the file? So just out of curiosity, since we've got a decent sized chat here for things, is there anything anybody is like thinking of that you I'm kind of entering things kind of open at the moment. I don't really have anything in particular in mind. I was going to basically probably talk about some things I'm doing with my current interest projects. I'm definitely still working with and going back to some of the older stuff, some of the other stuff, like the whole junction thing, or the whole junction world. But right now I'm kind of working off of something that I'm just kind of having fun with. It's a nice break, a change of pace, a shifting of gears. Because I was kind of getting a little, I don't really want to say bogged down, but I guess bogged down with, even though each part of the junction verse was being put together in a somewhat different way, I was kind of getting stuck with it in some regards, kind of hitting that point of going, I don't know if I want to keep up with this or how this is going, or I'm getting like, I don't want to look at this today, I want to do something else. But cool, that's everybody except that one, and that one is not graded yet, so we'll take care of that later. Awesome. Cool beans. Okay, I am now free. Awesome. So yeah, a lot of what I'm doing, I am planning on going back to this those other settings at some point in time, but right now I'm kind of taking a bit of a break and moving into a different world that is, I don't really necessarily have anything set up, planned, laid out for as such in mind. I was just kind of working with some stuff, a few things that just kind of spawned in my head. And I've kind of run with. I was talking last week about this idea of fictional nonfiction. That is, documents that are non-fictional within their world, but they are in a fictional world and have fictional authors. So therefore they are themselves works of fiction, but they are within their worlds and their setting, they are nonfiction. And I'm kind of working with some of this. I've been working with this off and on for a number of years, arguably back through 1999, roughly speaking. It's about 26 years or so, in different forms. And I've taken different iterations of it. My most recent before this was for urban fantasy, was sort of a guidebook for people who are being brought into the sort of magical community and that sort of thing. What I'm doing now, though, is really more mixing a couple different thoughts I've had for quite a while. One is taking that sort of fictional nonfiction concept. The other is mixing in this sort of idea of, which we're seeing a fair bit of in the, say, cozy fantasy genre, most recently in terms of publication and such. The Stewpot RPG, which I just took a look through earlier this week and over the weekend. Actually, basically Monday, Tuesday. It's a pretty short book. And in this case, the sort of retired adventurer. So the world doesn't have a name as such. It's more right now it's a town and the kind of environment around the town. So right now I'm just calling it Haven. So basically there are certain people's magic systems, some things came into my head about how basically somebody, we'll say a scholar of magic, a thaumatologist, explaining how magic works and particularly how magical lineages work. And that kind of spawned into, so basically this character is essentially putting together a little treatise on how magic and these sort of and magical lineages and all this sort of stuff works. And a history of magic of sorts. But he was part of a group of, it's sort of almost a spin on a Dungeon World idea, kind of mingling some elements probably of, I guess I never actually read Dungeon World too much, but kind of a little bit of that mixing with probably a little bit of things like Delicious in Dungeon and a few other things, where basically we've got a world, and over the last, I believe I put it as roughly 200 years, a whole bunch of various sized dungeons have appeared in the world. And they may concentrate in some areas and they're kind of more sparse in other areas, but they're not sort of natural to the world. And they kind of spawn, basically, rather than being built or anything like that. But this group of individuals, these 4 people, who I have names for down here, Akron, Ulrith, Lysane, and Corin, are a former adventuring group, former exploring group. Some people go into these dungeons for fame and fortune because they're looking to make a living off of it. Some are going in there to sort of explore for the sake of exploring. Some are going in for the purposes of research and studying them because they are a sort of magical or arcane phenomena, not natural in some respects. So these 4 basically were in that. They retired. My initial plan was that, was that this was going to be a group of former adventurers, and like 3 of them were writing various things, and 1 was speaking to people and that sort of stuff. But it actually turned into, as I was working through these things and coming up with working with different pieces and their voice and figuring out the character voices and how they were speaking, it's really turning out that 2 of them were writing, 2, possibly 3 different documents, and 2 were speaking. So that we have Akron, who's working on a piece on basically dungeons and their nature and all of that sort of stuff, is writing a work. She's also kind of writing a record of the group. And then you have Ulrith, who was in training to be a scholar before he went to the adventuring life. He's working on a document or a couple documents regarding the sort of nature and understanding of magic and divinity in the world. Corin, on the other hand, who runs a pub that's part of their home, is more of a speaker. He can write, he can read, but he's more of a talker. He's more of a people person. So his was initially from the very beginning going to be talking. But Lysane, Lyssa, who is another magic wielder, magician, but is a specialist in sort of in more medicine and healing type stuff. She was originally, my goal was to have her kind of writing, but she kind of became, once I started putting things together, once I started figuring out her situation and her voice, she ended up doing more speaking, where she does a lot more, she's doing a lot more talking, and she's doing a lot more having interruptions, having work-related interruptions. So basically the setting, the immediate setting for this kind of project is that these four have gotten together. They've pulled their fairly extensive resources from their days of delving into various dungeons and whatnot, and they've purchased a sort of dilapidated, largely abandoned or completely abandoned. Well, okay, we'll say largely abandoned inn of a particular shape and type that I'm kind of building off of some medieval inn layouts. And they've adapted that to, essentially it's a 3-wing, so it's a U shape. The one wing is going to basically be their residences, plus, it's going to have their rooms, it's going to have like some studies, some maybe a workrooms, some, library, all that sort of stuff. The other wing is going to be where the residences for their staff. We'll back that up. The central part is going to has a first floor pub that's run by one of the members, a bit of a tunnel that goes into the courtyard, and then a small little healing, essentially a healer's practice. The second floor of that is basically a training hall. The other wing is basically going to be residential areas for the pub staff, essentially, of which there are, I want to say 7, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. There are 15 of them total. So there are 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. And then why I say that the inn was mostly abandoned is that there were three cats in residence of the inn that kind of came with it, that were essentially adopted the new owners of the place, each of which has a particular name, personality, and some effects of being in, say, magic fields for a while. Like the one can generate a fear aura, the other has sort of a D&D terms mage armor that can turn on or off, and the other one can turn invisible. So they kind of use these for various purposes and whatnot on their own. As far as peoples in the world, you got the classic elves, dwarves, humans, gnomes, and goblins, but goblins are different from your typical, like, say, D&D or Pathfinder goblins. I've also, as of yesterday, I'm starting to add in some bipedal animal type peoples. I'm thinking building off of deer, fox, feline, owl, raven, raccoon, skunk as my big ones. There might be some other ones that come in later on, but we'll see what happens with that. And possibly a construct, and artificial people at some point in time. I'm not sure about that one at the moment yet, though. So I'm kind of working with that. One of the things I was going to do today, in kind of very simple terms, is do a little bit of mapping of the inn or the inn turned pub, I think. And that's going to be fairly straightforward. I'm going to do this on just normal everyday graph paper, or what do they call it, quad rule paper these days, because it's a nice simple thing to do it on, and then I have a hard copy with me without having to make an image in Paint or something like that, and then have to fiddle around with printing it out and all that sort of stuff to have a hard copy on me to refer to. In this case, I can just have it there. It can be in my binder, and there we go. The question is, this is going to be a fairly simple and straightforward one. So I'm just going to go ahead and probably start off with just one sheet for 2 floors. I think I can get away with that in this case. If this will come out of, there we go. This will come out of my pad. There we go, awesome. And I use the small side, the small grid side. So the version I have has both big grid and small grid. I don't know, yeah, just because, that's okay. And all I'm really using with these is just a simple, well, partial ruler, because my ruler broke off at 8 3/4 inches, because it's old and ancient, and I think I got this back in like middle school, so it's pretty old there. Maybe high school. It's been a long time. So the first thing I want to think about with 2 floors is how much space and which direction I want to go with, which direction I want to angle the page and stuff. I think I'm just going to go with the standard up and down. I don't know what my square to foot ratio is going to be. I don't really care too much at the moment, but I think what we're going to do is go with approximately, we're going to make this a fairly big thing. So we got to get 15 people living here, plus have space for a whole bunch of other things in it. So it's going to be a fairly big structure. We'll take it all the way down to maybe that hole is the midpoint. I'll take it to like maybe 1 above there. So it's going to be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Yeah, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 2, 4, 25. Okay, cool. So we're going to go about 25 from here. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 2, 4, 5. Right there. Perfect. That gives me just enough room between them to keep them separate from each other. Brilliant. I like it. Okay. Next question. Do we go first floor on top, first floor on bottom? I think we're going to go first floor on bottom. Well, yeah, let's do first floor on top. Why not? That's fine. Cool. That's a little darker. And then how wide can this be? So this can go over to there. Okay, so if I'm going to throw that in there too, we're going to cut it off about a couple blocks in. Now we're going to make the healing practice. Let's make that about 6 blocks wide. That sounds good. And then we'll leave, we'll make it 7, why not? And then we'll leave about, so if we're going with about a 5-foot block, then 10 feet ought to be wide enough to bring critters through. So we'll bring that across to there. I like that, that'll work. And that's going to go back through the whole building. So how deep should this be? You know what? I have somewhere in here. Where did I put it? Or did I delete them? I don't think I deleted them. It might not be on this drive. It might be on this drive. Let me plug this in and see what I can find here. I might, just might. I don't have it on this drive and it's downstairs. I don't really want to go down there to grab it at this stage. I might still have some floor plans. For a month or two back when I talked about inns versus taverns versus related other stuff. And I may... I don't think I have them on here. No, it's just the videos. That's not that stuff. Okay. You know what? I bet I could find it fairly... Oh, no, that was on... Okay. Oh, there we go. That is beautiful. That is almost exactly the type I was looking for, too. That is brilliant. University of Warwick. Awesome. It's not quite the type that I'm looking at, but it can work. It can be adapted. Nope, that is just about perfect. Okay, cool. Do we have brilliant 1445 in time period wise? That is brilliant. Does it have? I don't think it has measurements on it, unfortunately. That's too bad. That's too bad. Oh, that's a very nice thing. University of Warwick Department of History has some sites and plans of early modern pubs or public houses. That's really kind of nice and really kind of cool. Yeah, that's the same site. That is something else. Those aren't the shape I'm looking for. Unfortunately, a lot of the ones I'm looking for, a lot of the ones I'm seeing up here are more the box type, which are not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for more of the U type with wings, a front, a pair of wings, and a inner courtyard, which existed and were fairly common. Oh, that's an interesting concept. That's kind of crazy building concept. I think this will work. It would just be nice if it had some kind of measurement to it. I don't see that it does. That is annoying. Yeah, measurements. Cool. Do we have anything with measurements? No, that is a no. That's kind of annoying. That is not helpful. Whole house, no. Okay, whatever. We'll just wing it. Nothing's really coming up there. We'll just wing it. That's fine. So I'm really kind of thinking about how deep do I want, say, the pub area to be. Oh, that's a thought. Yes. I know. Yes, okay. Haha. Beautiful. Excellent. That gives me what I need. So I ended up looking up a pub that I am familiar with and kind of using it as the... Oh, wait a minute. What's this? Does this have anything different to it? It does not. Nope, not useful. Okay. Okay, so that's a 2. So presumably then, with that, we can divide by 2. Because it's going to be 2 different, because it's a 2-story. Or we can just take that as is. That would be math. Yay, mathing. Let's take this of is approximately. Nope. Okay, that's not. What are you? Okay, fine. There we go. Okay, so we're looking about that. So that would be approximately 12 by something. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 2, 4, that's 26. So let's take this. 3, 8, 3, 6 divided by 26 would be 13, that'd be 130 feet is about 29, so it's be about 30-ish deep. 2, 4, 6. It'll be nice and make it 8 deep to there. And then, but we'll cut it off about there. That'll work. Cool. And that is going to go over to roughly that line. And that's going to come down. Excellent. And this is going to come down to here. Actually, it doesn't have to go back quite as far. It really doesn't. It could just go back. So looking there, that's going to be about 35 feet across, and we'll say 25 deep. And then we'll put this over to 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe there. That'll work. And then this goes up to here. Now, one of the interesting things, when we're looking at things kind of on a historical level, is that interior hallways were relatively late development historically. So most places just went room to room to room to room. However, we like to have, modern sensibility, we like to have hallways, separating rooms and all that sort of thing, which is all well and good. So the question we have is, how did, when we look at, say, historic inns particularly, they generally had external doors for various rooms, for most of their rooms and such. So what we're going to do here, though, is because I want something enclosed, we are going to have, I'm going to put a little dash line here to indicate that this is covered. Not open, but covered. I mean, it's a tunnel, but it's got some kind of ceiling kind of area over it. So what I'm going to do here is, because I want, I do kind of want enclosed space, I'm going to make sure that, oh, that's right, that can go over, oh, that could be fun. Yeah, okay, I like that. I like that. And we're going to have a little dock. So I got to put a little dock in here because it's going to be on a river. Little pier. So we're going to put a little pier on here. I'm going to put a little partial line going across to show that this is the shore, or the river edge. So the nice thing about this is I got to figure out where doors and things are going to go. We're going to put one down here, I think. We'll throw one in here. Now, when they did this place, and we're going to have some external doors, I think. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover the exterior walkways. What would have been maybe exterior walkways at some point in time, I'm going to enclose so that people can move around without getting soaked and all that stuff. Then we're going to figure out some rooms and give some lengths here. I think the first floor we're going to cut off there. So we got 4 people. What kind of things do they need? I want at least 2 studies, 1 library. Oh, I forgot basement. I forgot the cellars. We had to put the cellars in there too. So we're going to have two studies, 1 for Akron, 1 for Alreth. Those will be roughly the same size. We're going to have a bit of a sort of library, and I think so. Lisa's going to have her own space. And she's going to have her workspace, and she's going to have the a small little workroom / study, because she does have her whole she's going to have her whole practice as a place to work from. So we're not necessarily going to have a huge thing going on with that. Cool. Bar and kitchen. How am I going to set that up? I think what we're going to do is put the kitchen area here. How deep do we want to make it? 15 feet seems all right, but relatively long. Maybe 30 feet long. That ought to be all right. We're going to leave it kind of open. And we're going to put in a bar area here. That'll work. And then here we've got the nice thing about it too is that the second floor can overlap a bit. So I think what we're going to do is give Lisa a relatively small space. Maybe a 10 by 20 space for a little kind of like, yeah, maybe 15 by 20. Yeah, that'll work. We'll go with that. So yeah, turn the upper floor into 4 rooms, basically. Okay, cool. That'll work. And the other side, we need to get between 2 floors. We want roughly 7 to 11 rooms. So that should all be, kind of more or less roughly the same size. So I'm thinking if I get 20 by 20, that should probably work. 20 by 20 room is a decent size is a pretty good size for, let's see how many squares we have here. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Perfect. One, two, three, four. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Cool. That gives me five rooms out of 11, so that's quite good. And we may end up with, we can easily end up with 6 on the second floor, no problem. The nice thing too is second floor can overhang a bit. So basically what I'm doing is I'm going to put the I'm going to put I'm going to put a little dot line over here because there's going to be an overhang going over there. As the building kind of overhangs that area. Okay, cool. I may even put a little bit of a like triple slash in these squares to indicate that they're shaded areas. Cool. That'll work. I like that. This is looking pretty good as a start point. I think then, so second floor can overhang a bit, which is good. I like that. That's what we're going to do because it gives us that gives me a little more room to play with. I might even move library off the first floor, put it on the second floor. That would be an annoyance for those two, but they could have internal stairs going there. I like this idea. Okay, cool. So I think I am going to move the library to the second floor. I'm going to change the first floor library and turn it into, that's 30 by 20. That could be, we're going to leave it open for now. I will figure it out as I get to it. We're going to put 2 sets of stairs in the 2 studies that will meet on the second floor in the library. I like this. I like this idea. That is a great idea. Brilliant. It's wonderful when a plan comes together. So this line's going to go from here to in. Yep, to there. Awesome. Some of this is involving a lot of this is involving how these individuals, none of whom are like necessarily architects as such, but how they would probably very likely want to have this place sort of organized. I think I'm going to give this a little bit more of an overhang. I'm going to give a little I'm going to give a little bit of an overhang. So the second floor is going to be a little bit wider than the first floor. On the two wings. And we're going to make some stairs that are going to come, they're going to go sideways because they're going to go out to the outer part of the wider wing. So rather than going top of the page, bottom of the page, they're going to go left to right at the end of the first floor corridor. Because there's going to be, the first floor is going to be, or the second floor is going to be about 5 feet, hang out about 5 feet wider than the first floor is, at least on the courtyard side. For the wings, not for the front side. I think the front side is going to stay basically across the same. So that's going to be 2, 4, 6, 8 squares in, 2, 4, 6, 8. Brilliant. And then we're going to go about 2, 4, 5, 2, 4, 6. So it's going to start about there. Excellent. And then this is going to go back to here. And close in here. And this is going to come down to, you know what, we don't necessarily need. We'll take it down to about there. Because we don't necessarily need the entirety 2, 4, 6 of the front section to be training hall. We can go with part of it, and that would be fine. So I think this line we're going to take to 2, 4, 6, 8. Let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8. 2, 4, 6. So it's going to be about there. I like that. That is a good plan. I'm proud to be part of that plan. Thank you, Bill Murray. Let's see, we're going to take this one. We're going to go down about 4 from there, 4 below that. Cool. We'll put the stairs in here. Cool beans. And those stairs are going to kind of turn and all that fun stuff. I like that. Awesome. Brilliant. I'm very pleased with that. So, make that a little bit darker. This is totally rough and totally not pretty, but that's okay. It's only for me. So it doesn't have to be pretty. Doesn't have to be a pretty setup. I think 2, 4, 6, 8. So it's about 40 feet deep. How long do we want this to be? Do we want it to be like a massive gallery? I think that could work. How do I do that? I think that would be fine. I think it would be fine just to bring this wall out to the very front. Bring this out to the very front. Put some doors in. We'll say right there's a good spot. We'll put one over here too. And this is the cool. So the reason there's a training hall as part of this is one, so that the individuals themselves can kind of keep up on their skill sets and such. But whether it be spellcasting or sparring or whatever it happens to be. But the other one being that they are mentoring other individuals. They're mentoring young, adventuring people and whatnot. So they will want, they're going to have a place to help work with them. And the courtyard is great, but the courtyard has some limits in terms of weather and all of that sort of thing. I am going to put a little bit of an overhang that I think is going to go out about 5 feet from the first floor. Over about 5 feet out and maybe 20 feet wide over the front doors. Just so that there's some coverage there. And I think we'll do the same. The back is not really coming out at all, but I think we'll do similar for the back staff door, or the courtyard access door, which is smaller, but comes in right next to the bar. I think that'll work. I like that. That's cool. I do want to put in a little bit of a stage. Why don't we put that over here? What do we think? Maybe 10 by 15? I think a little 10 by 15 stage is probably good. And there's a fireplace somewhere, but we don't need to worry about that at the moment. Okay, second floor, breaking it down. What do I need there? I need 4 rooms, 4 suites on the one side, and 6 on the other side, at least 6 on the other side. Okay, cool. Maybe 5 on that side. Okay, cool. So we're gonna I think we're gonna take this front corner. If I make these about 20, what can I get here? 1, 2, 3, 4. I can make that work. Okay, cool. I like that. Put a line there. 2, 4. 2, 4. 2, 4. Okay. There are all of the main group's rooms. Oh, but that's going to be part of that. Okay, yeah, no problem. We can make this work. I think in order to do that, move this line down 1. So move that line down 1. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we have that room there. That is approximately here. 2 up from there, yep. Their library, and then we're gonna have a room door here and a door here. Awesome. Okay, so looking at these, I think what we're gonna do is put and they are going to, because this one's a couple, we're gonna put a little gap in here. The wall's not gonna go the full. They've essentially got a suite for all intents and purposes. And then down here, he's kind of semi-monastic. So he'll get that, and then she'll get a slightly bigger room. That'll work. I'd like that. Okay, cool. They're both down near there, and that's near there. Okay, cool. He may put a little bit of a back door into the library. That would be good. I like that. That would fit with him as in his personality and such. Okay. We get that hall, And then let's put in a, I don't know, could it be 30 feet wide instead? I kind of like that. Yeah, we could put that as a corridor down here. That would be fine. And we'll put a door, let's put a double door in like right here. That would be cool. I like that. Cool. I like that. That'll work. And over here, I need at least 6 rooms. Okay, and we're gonna stick with the 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 4. 2, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Awesome. And 2, 4. And then we're going to slip just one line right through here, and that will be a storage area. That'll work. I like that. That can be perfect. Okay, excellent. So we get one who's down here by the stairs, one who's here. Throw another one in there. We get another one here. We'll throw a door in down here across from that corridor. We'll have a storage room, and then we'll have the last one there. Cool. Now, people, who is going in those? That's a good question. The core 4 were easy to locate. The rest, we'll figure out some things about them. Where they're going. Who do we have? Good question. I think we're going to put, you know, those are smaller rooms, so let's put the 4 servers on the first floor because that's going to be small, slightly smaller rooms. He's there. She is working on that. She's working on cooking, so we're going to put her over here. And then we're going to put and we'll put, there we go. Cool. Okay, that's those 4. I've got one more room there. Who's going to be in there? Is it going to be one of the entertaining people or one of the others? I think the 2 of them are basically, I think this is just going to be an empty room at the moment. That's going to be an empty space. Then up here, that takes care of those 4. Leaves me at 2, 4, 6, 7. 2, 4, 6 rooms. Awesome. Exactly how I wanted it. Okay, I think we're going to put you know what? Instead of having storage there, let's just make this a bigger room. Because we're going to have a double set of people in there. Yep, we're just going to have a couple in that room. So, cool. We can just block that off like that. And there we go. Beautiful. I like it. Okay, and that leaves us with 2, 4, 5. Awesome. So I think bartenders, we'll just kind of split them between these spots. We'll throw one at this end. And I guess we'll put one at the other end. And then here we'll throw in, these ones don't really make that big a difference. And cool. And then those just go wherever the heck they please. And the fur balls go wherever they want, and walk around through wherever they desire to go, as we would expect from fur balls. The felines go wherever they damn well please. So basically, what I have gotten out of this is a rough sketch of exactly where the first floor stuff is at, where the second floor is going to be at, and kind of what's going on with where people are and where rooms are and all that good stuff in kind of a basic form. Now there is still a what's that place, cellar, to put in that I haven't really done anything with, but that at the moment, but that's okay. So I'm not really doing a whole hell of a lot with that at the moment anyway. There's probably going to be a vault down there to go with it, because there is a vault somewhere on the premises. Where exactly that is not exactly advertised for obvious reasons. But it will be somewhere in there. I don't know exactly where, but somewhere probably in the cellar area, possibly elsewhere. We will see. Haven't decided on that part yet, but that will come with time. For right now, though, that gets me at least a basic map, which is good. I like that. That is helpful. Helpful to me in figuring out where things are and what things are and who's doing what and all of that sort of thing. That kind of is going to help me figure out keep things in mind and keep placement together and all of that fun stuff. Particularly as right now, so we got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 19, 20. I got about 20 more pages, maybe more than 20. More, probably like 21, 22, at least 22 more pages of stuff to go. Plus I've got those. I'm thinking about giving each of those a pay. That's maybe 37, maybe 40 more pages of stuff to put together that I have in mind right now for the fictional nonfiction type build stuff. What that means overall, I don't know. So basically, I'm using fictional nonfiction as a form of world building. So the documents that these people are writing, the documents that Akron and Allreth are writing, are talking about things with the world. So Allreth is mostly talking about the gods and magic and such. Akron is talking about the dungeons and how those came together in their writing. Lassane is talking about the various races of the world, the heritages of the world, from a healing or medical perspective. While what's the last one? Corin is talking about the pub itself and the pub's history and the people of the town and the sort of and then each of them I've got set up to do a different like little brief talk about the town itself, because each of them is coming from different perspectives in this regard. Corin's coming from more of a tactical, strategic / people perspective, whereas Akron is coming more from a with her background, she's coming more from a perspective of looking for the sort of criminal elements, the information elements. Allreth is looking more at how, learning and information are coming into play in town, and Lissa is looking more at the variety of people and how good a place this is for people in her field, that is the healer field and whatnot, as terms of like training and that sort of thing. And they're all going to each have an individual piece on, say, their role as mentors since they're each going to have a different perspective on that and direction they're going from. I've also brought in their cook, Tarek, to talk about, just briefly talking about, right now only dwarves, elves, humans, goblins, gnomes from a culinary perspective, from his position as a cook and his experiences as a cook working with them. So he's got various he's got a little brief commentary on each of the 5 big ones. I'll probably expand that and let him talk about the other peoples, the other heritages of the world as I put them in place and bring them into things. But overall, so far it's been kind of a fun experience and practice. It's something that has been a nice change of pace. Compared to my usual build setup, which is make a list of things that have to be in the particular setting and start throwing out notes about them and then convert them into basically kind of relatively dry discussions of them. Informational and that sort of thing. I'm kind of enjoying putting together, being a little more, adding an extra dimension of creativity to things, where thinking about, with each page of piece, thinking about what is this, who is writing this, what is their, or speaking it, what are their interests, what are they going to zero in on, focus in on, and what is their voice, how are they talking, how are they speaking, how are they writing, because they're all going to do that a little bit differently. So it's an interesting, I'm enjoying that kind of aspect of things with it. And it's a good, nice break and change of pace. So I think on that note, because I'm down to about 15 minutes left of time that I have available, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. And I'm going to run off and take care of a few things. I'm going to run over and see who we have who is available for potential jumping over and checking out. I don't know any of those folks. I'm not familiar with any of them, so I'm not going to run over to people I don't recognize. Let's go with same category. See who's there. Nope. Let's go similar or smaller size. Only the one there. Let's go with following. No one. Really? Take that out. Let's go to following. Ha, there are 2. Okay, let's take that off. Let's see this one. Meh, okay, nope, take that off. Cool beans. I could run over and we could run over to Kalen, or it could be traditional and run over to Noir with superheroes and stuff. Right now he's got a fair number of people in there. Kaylin's only on her own, so she's only been on for a short time. So let's just run over there for a little bit and say hi. Why not? Because she doesn't generally have that many people there. So that should be going in a few moments. Oh, that's... Just do this now.